Alright then. That should be good. Alright, welcome back. Streaming on a Saturday might be the biggest mistake of my life. Ain't a good day to stream, but let's do it. Finish the chapter 1, the prologue. I don't know. Well, basically, Shion just got back to her hometown of the hell's it? Nahinamizawa. Oh my god, what's it called? What the hell's it called? I feel like she's about to say like the first sentence, saying like I'm back. Oh my god, what's it called? Shishibone. Yeah, so she's back in town, back again. And yeah, she basically escaped from a school, and yeah, I was wondering what's she exactly going to do with her parents, who I thought were the ones who probably send her there, being like, hey, go to this school. And how's she going to explain to them that she literally ran away from school? But apparently it was mostly just Oreo who was kind of the one who sent her away, because she doesn't like her. Just straight up, she does not fuck with Shion at all. Like, so she just sent her away. But she's back. She decided, I ain't doing this shit. I want to go live my days in Shishibone because that's where I grew up. That I love that place. I want to live there. She got help from one of her father's like right-hand men, essentially. I forgot his name, but oh my god, this shit's loud. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna press start. Let's just start this shit. Okay, that way it doesn't fucking annoy us. Just keep hearing, and now we're hearing birds. God damn it! All right, I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain is half asleep, but I'm aware of that. Waking up at the same time as the chime would go off at school doesn't feel good. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. I can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. Yay. That's really positive. I feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school tracks uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks like it just looks plain to me. It really doesn't feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. I especially didn't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai, that's his name, bring me some new clothes later. And I should think about redecorating this room. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. So is she back home? This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Okinomiya. The property is one realtor in my dad's conglomerate obtained after a foreclosure due to some sort of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Damn, so she just gets this whole apartment to herself? Bro, couldn't be me. Plus, with the exception of the manager and sent one or two other, all the residents are shady-looking people connected to my dad. It probably won't be much longer before the virtuous residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room that used for viewing, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking in daily necessities. I'll buy some of those things over time, though. I nodded to myself. I might have looked stupid, but it helped psych me up. At the school, there was a TV only in the common room, and we weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. I zapped through all those channels as a form of emancipation. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on, but I enjoyed it anyway. Commercials are fun to watch. Kasai dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry. Nah, man. Pickled radish.
後で必要なものを教えてください。可能な限り揃えるようにします。
ありがとう。 でもそんなに気を使わないでいいです。私の好きで始めた生活だし、葛西だってたかられたらお財布持たないでしょ。
I have to be serious about my plans. I can't let myself take advantage of Kasai's wallet
バイトで
forever.
もしようと思います。生活費くらいは自分で稼がないとね。
Wow, she's actually fully just planning on living by herself. What's up with her parents though? Are they just not gonna find out that she like ran away? Is that her plan? The school's gonna call them though, no?
私が選んだ生活なんだから、自分で何とかするのは当然。
それはたくましい限りです。
He's like, yo, bro, thanks. Listen, I love you, girl, but I ain't your daddy. I ain't paying for shit. I'm trying to help you out though.
いいんですか？外を歩けば、やがては親族の誰かに。
そこは少しは考えてある。そこでミオンの力がいるわけよ。葛西さ、本家に電話してもらっていい？ミオンが出たら受話器変わって。
やれやれ、何を企んでるやら。どういう作戦ですか？
What are their relationships like exactly, especially now? Because in the future, they are kind of antagonistic slightly towards each other. Not like maliciously or anything. They're not like maliciously like hating each other, but they definitely have some tension between the two. Kasai dialed the number. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment.
もしもし。
おはようございます。ミオンさんですか？ご無沙汰しています。葛西です。ええ。おはようございます。少しお待ちいただけますか？今、受話器を変わります。
I take the headset.
もしもし。
What the fuck?
私が誰だかわかります？その声は、でもそんなはずは。
What the
シオン
fuck?
はセントルチア学園に幽閉されてるはず。
It's supposed to be confined. She's like, how'd you escape? Who broke the seal?
そんなはずはない。学園では外部との電話は禁止だからね。それが電話してきたってことは血の巡りの悪いお姉でも意味がわかるでしょ。あんた学園抜け出したの？どうやって？そんなことはどうでもいい。会いたかったですよ、お姉。
Oh, nah. That was as far as I could take it, and Mion had hit her limit too. Okay, so they are actually kind of cool with each other. I don't know, I felt like there's like a bit of like tension between them later on. Or maybe that happens with this event. Because their vibes were definitely a little weird later on. We both burst out into laughter, unable to keep up our eye. It's been a while since we laughed out loud with each other like this. What happened to you, girl? What do you mean what happened to me? I was trapped in that freaking school.
別に私は嘘を吐いてないです。じゃああんた本当に脱走したの？やる。
Great job.
私を閉じ込めておくにはちょっと警備が甘かったかもね。学園はシオンが穏便に脱走したことに感謝するべきかもね。本気のシオンだったら全施設を爆破してから脱走するくらい朝飯前かも。爆破はできないけど放火くらいはやるかもね。
Kasai smiled at us in amazement. His face a blend of amusement and exasperation.
おね、今は電話大丈夫なの？大丈夫。バッチャはお稽古に行っちゃってる。今日は帰りは夕方になるって言ってた。それは交通。近いうちに会って話をしましょう。とりあえず今日のところは電話で。うん。本家に学園から私が脱走したっていう連絡は来てます？んにゃ、来てない。本家の電話も来客も全部私が通すから、私を素通りしてバッチャに連絡行くことはない。だから来てないって断言。ほう。
Wow.
そりゃすごい。さすが園崎本家次期当主。 私はそんなの嫌だよ。シオンが変わってよ。
You should do it. Hell no, I ain't doing that shit. You're the one with the demon,
まあ
aren't
せい
you?
ぜい頑張ってください。陰ながら応援いたしております。まあそんなことはどうでもいいや。すごい人事っぽい言い方。まあいいや。私関連で何か動きがあったら葛西に連絡をよろです。ここの番号はお姉には教えてもいいかなって思うけど、しばらくは内緒にしときますね。ごめん。そうだね。学園脱走したって話がバッチャの耳に入ったら、いろいろ面倒に連絡の件は。
It's gonna whoop your ass, man. Oh my god, there's an ice cream truck, of course.
何か動きがあったら葛西さんに伝えとく。ありがとうです。
ありがとう。
それとあとお姉にお願い。そう来ると思った。あ、お金は無理だよ。さすがにお金を無心できるとは思ってません。お姉にはちょっと私のバイトのお手伝いをお願いしたいんです。なるほどね。そういうことか。で、具体的にはどうするの？
We need to we can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into details because we know what's on each other's minds.
吉郎おじさん、私の味方だったじゃないですか。吉郎おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでバイトできないか打診してみます。で、シフトが決まったらお姉に連絡しますから。あんたがバイトしてる時間帯には消えてりゃいいわけだね。めんどくさい役だな。何ですかお姉。双子の妹の頼みを断る？本当に？いいよいいよ、引き受けるよ。
Alright, alright.
あんたの頼みは断ると後が嫌だ。サンキューです。
Thank you.
今度シュランクベルタのケーキでもおごるから。可愛いタルト山ほど食べさせてあげますから。
Wait, from Schlank Bertha?
あ、シオン、シュランクベルタね。去年の秋に店閉じちゃったんだよ。え？あ、そうなんだ。うん。マスターが脳梗塞で倒れて退院してから一度は店を開けたんだけど、やっぱり体が持たないらしくて惜しまれたけど閉店。そっか。そりゃあ残念です。欲張りモンブランをお腹いっぱい食べる夢はもう夢のままで終わっちゃったんですね。
Aw. That's actually happened to me where like a bakery that I like closed down. And I'm like, shit, I actually really like that place. I was disappointed that my favorite cake shop had closed down, but more so that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable.
他にも変わったこと、私の知らないことある？いくつかある。今度会ったら全部話すね。ありがとう。私も学園で見てきたこと、近いうちに機会を設けましょう。追ってこっちから連絡します。わかった。ミオン？何？元気でやってる？もちろん。ならよかった。切るよ。じゃあね。
It's really been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kasai brought in some tea.
結局どういう話になったんだ？
吉郎おじさん、私のことを可愛がっててくれたじゃない？おじさんにね、私が学園を抜け出してで、おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでささやかに働かせてもらえたら。
人目に触れますよ。吉郎さんはいいとしても。
そのためのお姉ってわけよ。私が働く時間が決まったらお姉に連絡する。で、お姉は私が働いている時間にはちょっと人目を忍んでくれればいいわ。わかる？
Kasai looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to
つま
grasp.
り簡単。バイト中に私が何か咎められるようなことになったら、私がミオンだと言い張ればいいだけの話なんです。お分かり？
Okay. Normal people wouldn't buy this kind of plan. But Kasai knows too well how easy it is for my sis and me to trade
つ
places.
くづく大胆というか悪知恵が働くというか、いやいやだ。
もちろん褒め言葉だよね、葛西。
Kasai looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him too. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he won't be able to get away with just a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him since he helped me escape, even knowing that risk.
ああ、任せとけよ。しおんちゃんのことをどうのこうの言うやつがいたら、俺が少し締めとくから。
やっぱ吉郎おじさんは頼りにね。おじさんならきっと助けてくれると思ってました。
Uncle Yoshiro pounded his chest with a fist after offering me his assurance. He seemed glad that I turned to him first.
いいんだよ。俺はしおんちゃんの自分の生活費は自分で稼ぎたい。金をたかりに来たんだったら本家に突き出してるところだぜ。
What?
ああ、おじさん怖い。
I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help.
店長、シフト表持ってきました。ここに置きますね。
One of the store clerks brought out the work schedule. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with written on it.
で、しおんちゃんはどのくらい働けるんだい？
私とお姉の都合次第かな。できたら私の指定する日だけ入れるのが一番。
おいおい、そんな虫のいいこと言うやつ面接じゃあったこと。まあな、仕方ないもんな。
I'm depending on Mion for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yoshiro understood that. But I also knew he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket.
生活費が稼げればそれで OK です。
じゃあ、そういうことで頼むぜ。一応金を払うんだから、仕事中はしっかりと。あと、事務所内じゃおじさんは勘弁な。
はいはい、分かってますよ。店長さん。ふつつか者ですけど、よろしくお願いしますね。
こちらこそどうぞよろしく。
Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like in a prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. Apparently, there were all kinds of rumors going around about St. Lucia Academy, and I was confined. A lot of rumors going around about St. Lucia Academy I was confined to. And everyone was curious about it. I added a few embellishments of my own as I explained how unordinary life at that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the little details about life in a secret garden for girls. Horny bastard. Yeah, I was about to say, what does that even mean? Once my uncle was satisfied, is that okay? Whoa, I don't know about that. It was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. I wanted to know if anything peculiar had happened while I was gone. I won't be able to act like Mion unless I can be filled in the gaps of information left in the past 2 years.
そんなに大きく変わったことはないな。ダム戦争が終わってからこっちはもうそりゃのんびりしたもんさ。
私はダムの計画中止が発表されて少ししてから学園に行ったからな。私がこっちにいた時はまだ
中止発表の後の1年くらいは同盟も計画は凍結されただけで中止になったわけじゃな。翌年には解散式をやったよ。南沢の境内で大式典だった。それでダム戦争は本当に終わりだな。
じゃあ私が閉じ込められたすぐ後だ。戦争も終わっちゃってみんなふぬけちゃった感じ。
はははは。
しおんちゃんなんかはダム戦争は戦争ごっこみたいで楽しかったんじゃないか。子供たちが警察のお世話になるたびに引き取りに行っていろいろいじめられた大人の身にもなってくれよ。
まあ確かに否定はできないかな。私ら子供にとってはダム戦争はかなり遊べるイベントでしたし。
Uncle Yoshiro seemed exasperated at how differently kids and adults treated the conflict.
そういえばバラバラ殺人なんてのがありましたよね。あのクソムカつく現場監督の野郎がバラバラにされたやつ。
Whoa, that is very venomous the way she said that.
あれ、確か犯人がまだ全員捕まってなかったですよね。捕まったんですか？
ああ、そうそう。 確か捕まってないはず。
しかもひなみ沢の守り神お社様を祀る綿流しの番にね。当時お社様のたたりだって騒がれたのを覚えてます。あれ子供的には結構怖かったな。
ああ、お社様のたたりね。その翌年にも起きたんだよな。
そうそう、あれも怖かったですね。何でしたっけ、ダムの賛成派の男が事故で死んだやつ、北条だっけ。しかもまたしてもお社様を祀る綿流しの日に。これはもうたたりしかありえないって、あれは怖かったです。うんうん。
The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of the Watanagashi festival. The incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. Worst parts of his body were never found, which made it almost a ghost story among us. We seriously believed that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. It didn't take long for the rumors of Oyashiro-sama's curse to become the topic of discussion among occult researchers and the like. Considering the circumstantial factors, even so, the rumors faded away after about a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Watanagashi purely as a festival. But the curse stuck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Hinamizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip when they fell off a cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. Technically, police were still searching for the wife's body. If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Oyashiro-sama's curse fell victim on the night of the Watanagashi festival. So the fuss over Oyashiro-sama's curse rose up again. Until then, Oyashiro-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just a name of the object of worship in the shrine. Nothing more than that. I'd say boys peeing on the archway, and I once stuck my head into the offertory box. The existence of a god didn't matter much to us. But after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of the curse. We were all shaken in fear of Oyashiro-sama. Everybody suddenly became interested in the old stories about him too. Okay, just checking. Yeah, everything's good. I always keep forgetting to check. Did I actually press start stream and I'm not just talking to myself, but I'm good. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell, and we started genuinely believing in the tale of Oyashiro-sama's miracles, which any of us would have laughed away before. Oyashiro-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Simple and clean. Enemies treading into Hinamizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defines the village was terribly vague. Were we never allowed to leave Hinamizawa village? Was going to Okinomiya still safe? Was a single step enough to be out? Was a 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Hinamizawa or Okinomiya, you were safe. And it was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. I know, it's weird. But those rules were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed since I lived in a boarding school in such a remote area. Yo, what if the grandma was like, yo, I want to kill this bitch, but I can't kill Shion because, it'd look bad. And I don't think any of my family member would want to kill one of theirs. So how about I send her to a boarding school, have her live there, therefore Oyashiro-sama will consider her a traitor, killing her, and, she's gone and we're good. And Mion will just be the next successor and we're good. I couldn't say it out loud because I felt embarrassed. But in fact, I was a little scared of the curse.
でさ、その翌年にも起こったんだよな。
やっぱり2年連続ってのは結構きますよね。私は今でもお社様は信じてるな。
シオンちゃん、2年なんてもんじゃないよ。知らないの？
知らないですよ。何の話？
そっか。シオンちゃんはあれの直前に学園に行っちゃったんだもんな。知らないよな。
Uncle Yoshiro grimaced as if he said too much. as though he mentioned something I shouldn't have known about.
何おじさん。そこまで話を振っておいて、急に黙られると
Yeah,
面白くないですよ。
you can't leave me hanging like that. Forget Shion, tell me, bitch.
まあ、しおんちゃんももう小さい子じゃないもんな。
おじさん、私を見てまだ小さい子供っていうのなら、眼科行くか回し蹴り食らうかのどちらかを選んでもらうことになるんですけど。
What a fucking statement. Hey, if you think my body looks underdeveloped, you should see an eye doctor. Either that or you're a pedo. I mean, if he thinks you look good even now, he's... wait, no, there's a term for... I can never remember. I've heard it said before, but the term for someone who's attracted to post-pubescent, like, but still underage people, like teenagers, essentially. Because there's people who are attracted to children who are like, that's actually the definition of a pedophile, is you're attracted to, like, a child, essentially. Or there's, like, an actual, like definition, like prepubescent, basically. But there's still, like, you know, someone who's still a minor, but has gone through puberty already. And I think there's another term. I can never remember it.
もう、わかったよ。
Okay, calling me a pedo might be a little far, but I get it. If you just want to know, just tell me.
別に隠しゃしな。あったんだよ。その後も。
あったって？おじさん、さっきから何の話？
Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a genome who lived inside... It was like a gnome who lived inside me was giving me a warning. Like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents calling me, they'd always either chide me or tell me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it. But my senses seem to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there.
実は賛成派の北条が転落、つまりは去年なんだが、またあったんだよ。
あったって、また綿流しの日に ?3 年連続でまた？
そうなんだよ。ほら、ひなみ沢の神社あるよな。古出神社。あそこの神主が祭りの夜に突然ぽっくりいっちまってよ。聞いた話じゃ、原因不明の奇病で急死したとかしないとか。それもまたしても綿流しの夜に。で、神さんもその晩のうちに村長たちが集まっててんやわんやの。
You had to hold an emergency meeting. There's several new tracks in this, and they sound really good. I really like them.
うん。奇病ってのはおひれだと思うけどね。急死したってのは本当。神主さんは綿流しの準備で大変だったと思うし、あの頃急性心不全とかそういう感じのよくでも綿流しの日にってのが異常でしょ？それも3年連続で。普通に考えたら人の死がこうも同じ日に重なるなんてことは考えられない。警察も検視したみたいだけど、その後に特に騒がなかったってことは死因。まあでもシオンの言う通り、人の死が3年も続いて綿流しの日に重なると、それにさっきお姉も言った通り、お社様にたたられそうな人ばかり開始する。これは絶対に何かあります。たたりでも陰謀でも、とにかく絶対裏に何か因果関係がある。
I decided to meet up with Mion at the library near the Okinomiya train station. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. Not many people use the library, so I won't see anyone at from Hinamizawa here. It's very convenient for meeting someone in secret. After we discuss my life plan and work schedule, we move to small talk. I've been away from this town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about those changes in detail in order to fill in the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Yoshiro had told me about Oyashiro's curse. Even before I left town, the curse had already struck twice. The dismembered murder of the first year left quite an impact. And the year after, a pro-dam activist couple fell off a cliff. On the day of the villagers were enjoying their first Tanagashi festival, the dam project was indefinitely frozen. I just realized Satoko's parents fell off the cliff, and then in Satoko's like arc, like part 3, Keiichi ended up falling off the cliff. Where in the old case, they died, obviously, but when Keiichi fell, everyone else died, and he lived. That's kind of interesting, actually. This one left quite an impact. The evil construction site manager was punished, and the next year, the traitor to the village met the same fate. If it had happened only once, people would have concluded that it was just a bizarre coincidence. But it had happened 2 years in a row. People were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I know up to that part. And after I left town, the curse struck again for a third time. People talked about the curse more intensely than ever, both in Hinamizawa and Okinomiya. I have to rethink this. Oyashiro-sama's curse was drastically gained credibility while I was away. It was still unclear with the first 2 incidents, but after it continued for 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Even though the priest who died on the 3rd year wasn't an enemy of the villagers, the fact that people in Hinamizawa didn't care for him much added even more credibility to the idea. Wow, okay. I didn't know that. Was he in the meeting last time with it wasn't even last time. It was it was in part 4 where well, I forgot, but he was like pissing off like Oreo, or like just making her upset or something. Like he didn't like what they were doing or something. Oh, and wasn't he abusive towards Rika-chan, if I remember, or something like that? I have to remember, but we did kind of hear a little bit about him, no?
神主は確か嫌われてませんでした？同盟の役員から。日和見主義なんじゃないかって叩かれてたね。
Yeah. Okay. Why is Mion so happy talking about this?
戦争末期は同盟内でも過激な理論がまかり通ってたから。神主さんの穏健な態度はそういう人たちにとって気に食わないものだったと思うね。
The priest had looked strict and scary. The way he spoke was always so formal. But in reality, he was a very warm and reserved. Maybe it was because he was the son-in-law, having married into his family. I'm sure the priest and his personality were the perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for summer festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot style atmosphere of the shrine changed completely when the dam war broke out and it became a headquarters for the Onigafuchi Guardians. Prior to the dam protests, hardly anyone worshipped Oyashiro-sama. Of course, the devout elders paid worship to him, but the average person treated our god like how you treat a fortune teller. Like how you treat fortune telling. Once the dam protests began, Oyashiro-sama was suddenly halted out as the symbol of the village resistance. Tracing the Oyashiro-sama faith back to its roots, it was an exclusive elitist faith that believed its members were descendants of the holy ancestors, different from the mass at the foot of the mountain, and that those tainted masses should never come near the village. Of course, such a self-centered ideology wasn't accepted anymore in peaceful post-war Japan, so this doctrine was abandoned over time. Still, the idea remained that they trudged it back up to fan the flame of nationalism and unite the town against the dam project. With the revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day, and it didn't take very long for the Onigafuchi Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war. 100 million burning at once killed the white savages. Want not but victory. Adults and kids were gnawing at the bit, avid to repel have it to repel the foreign invaders. Describing it like that makes it sound kind of awful, like a reminder of a dark time of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids, it felt less like a war and more like a village-wide festival. Yet, despite calling it a festival, the Zeners were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up to the expression wartime regime. The Hojo couple, who voiced their acceptance of the dam project in the midst of the atmosphere, were truly brave. Then, on the second year of the curse, they died in an accident, and everyone believed it was Oyashiro-sama's curse without a question. So they were branded traitors and enemy of the village. The Hojo couple faced worse than just being ostracized as traitors. Everyone gave them the cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only person who didn't treat them badly was the priest. Okay. While the priest never objected to the anti-dam movement, he also never objected to the Hojo couple's advocacy for accepting the government's eviction and restriction and restitution to rebuild the new lives. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan as the three families, especially the Sonozakis, united the village by turning them into a scapegoat. So they must have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve of that, especially when it was the priest of the shrine that had become the symbol for the dam project. As central figures in Hinamizawa, the three families were the backbone of the Onigafuchi Guardians, so a difference of opinion was undesirable, and that priest was never accused of anything. But secretly, people whispered that he was a heretic, that he was unfit to serve as Oyashiro-sama's priest, that Oyashiro-sama's curse would soon strike him down, along with other rumors.
今にして考えると、神主さんって結構大人だったのかもねって思いません?
It was pretty cool, managing to keep his eyes and keep his head and remain natural while everyone around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in. So when Mion gave me a focused smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise.
本当に大人だったら、あそこは周りに合わせて強調すべきところだったと思うね。フルデのおじさんは単に神社の神主だっただけじゃなく、仮にも御三家の一つ、南沢全体が結束しなくちゃならない時に、模範となるべき御三家の人間が自分から輪を乱すのは、それが大人と呼べるかどうかは、私には難しいな。
I was taken aback. I barely managed to say the following. Even though we were identical twins, we still had our own unique identities. Every now and then, our opinions differed, but usually only over trivial matters. We never had differences of opinion this big. It wasn't an enjoyable feeling. I decided to probe her a little some more.
お姉の言う協調って言葉がなんだか好きじゃないんですけど。つまりそれって何？村全体を考えて神主さんは自分の考えを隠しているべきだったって、そういう話？要するに全体主義の中で個を主張するなと、そういう話？別にそこまでは言わないけど。
I mean, she's not wrong for asking that. Like, he did just have an opinion. He did just think like, hey, I don't really care. I think it's fine if they built the dam project. Or not even. He just said, I just kind of don't really care.
ただやっぱり御三家の長の一人なんだから、もう少し言動は慎重にしてもよかったんじゃないか。
Yeah, that still doesn't sound good. That still doesn't sound good. That's not like, oh, it's your fault for having an opinion. You shouldn't have that. Like, you should have known, like, he shouldn't have been killed. Like, okay, I'm saying killed as in like he was actually killed. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, if everyone believes that the curse was the reason why he died, then everyone is sort of in agreement of the fact that the reason why he died because of the curse was because he disagreed with everyone. Mion faltered a bit as my tone grew more like a cross-examination. I realized I was speaking a bit too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably a more mature opinion on our scale. When everyone needed to work together to stand up to a vast enemy like the government, people should refrain from actions that would destabilize that alliance. Writing it out and reading it out now, I understand that. But I wasn't mature enough to agree to such totalitarian idea. Or maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who'd made the mature judgment. We'd been separated over a year. I've been away from this town. In the meantime, Mion had been training to take over the headship of the Sonozaki family. She's been treated as such even before I was confined to that institution. She sat next to the hag in ceremonies and in the meetings. She took her place when the hag was absent. I love that she just calls her the hag. But that was just it. We were never that different. Mion had become very like a successor since I've been gone.
お姉もいつの間にか大人になっちゃいましたね。
She seems to get what I was implying.
やっぱり、私もバッチャみたいな考え方になっちゃってきたかな。いいじゃないですか。お姉は次期当主なんだから。いつまでも下々と同じ考え方じゃまずいでしょ。さすが帝王学を学んだだけのことはある。そんなの学んでないよ。どうやればバッチャの振りができるかって、それだけだよ。シオンにだって簡単にできるよ。そんなのやりたくないです。
I'm good. I just, you're right. I can do it. I don't want to do it though. Like, I don't want to do that shit.
ばあさんのおもりはミオンのお役目。ま、疲れない程度にほどほどに頑張りなさいませ。
I didn't mean to be cold, but Mion seemed to take it that way. She smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled gently back at her.
おねえ、ミオン。何？確かに私たちの別離はいつも穏便じゃなかった。名前を引き離され、住まいを引き離され、そして体を引き離された時もいつもね。
Mion looked down with a serious face, but then looked right
あん
back
たは私
back
が
up.
そのあたりで逆恨みしてるんじゃないかって思ってるかもしれない。でもそれは、そりゃ確かに確執はあったよ。でもそんなのは時間で流れる程度のもの。あんたが引け目を感じるようなことは何もない。
Up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by the grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little. There's no denying that. But we don't have to start a disagreement over it. Mion seemed to understand what I was trying to say. We each have our own characteristics, even though we were identical twins. Only we know the differences. We're also dependent on each other because of them. Mion seemed more dependent. She always worries about me. If somebody gave her a cookie, she'd divide it into two and give one half to me. If someone gave her candy, she'd wait until I said it was okay to eat it. On the contrary, I'm cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. I'd put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her, and I'm well aware that she loves me. We both know that. Mion must have been hesitating to put the candy of the successor in her mouth, and was waiting to see if I was okay with that.
頑張れ、ミオン。私もシオンを頑張る。
I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Mion put her forehead against my fist as if trying to feel the warmth. She's Mion, and I'm Shion. She's the successor of the Sonozaki family, and I'm just a vagabond. that isn't a distinction, but rather our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the others anymore. We shouldn't feel relaxed living as who we are with our own characteristics. I didn't have to say any of that out loud. We can't communicate by touch just like this.
ありがとう。シオン。頑張ろう、ミオン。困ったことがあったらいつでも相談して。私たちはいつだってそうやってきた。
Oh, that's actually very sweet.
それはこれからも何も変わらないよ。
Mion kept nodding, with her forehead against my fist. I like this song a lot. This song is very nice. I said goodbye to Mion before it turned to evening. We had a walk and we had talked about the things that happened during my time away, and I enjoyed having that chat between sisters very much. We were able to dissolve our unsettled emotions. We didn't used to do that. Maybe it was because we hadn't seen each other for over a year. It was late afternoon. My heart felt lighter now. I stretched and looked up at the sky. The sky was clear, blue, and far away. No matter how tall I grow, I'd never be able to touch that sky. I'm Shion Sonozaki, a girl who escaped from the life she was forced to live. Nobody will praise me for what I did and for what I'm going to do. But this is what I chose.
なんだ。私だって大人な考え方できるじゃない。
I should go shopping for dinner. Though I have Kasai's help, I need to save money. I love junk food, but it'd be cheaper to cook. And ironically, the culinary class from the evil school will come in handy. Why not go to the shopping district in Kani Ishiki? If I'm going there, then I need to take the other street. The cool breeze in the late afternoon felt nice on my skin. Kasa came to the door while I was putting stuff I bought into the fridge. I'm coming. Oh, there he is. Right. They showed us his sprite last time too. Ugh, sorry about that. I just wanted to turn on the lights. It was getting dark in here. Did you go grocery shopping? I did. Nah, I'm good, B. I don't get tired from... Yeah, who gets tired from grocery shopping? I guess if you had a work day. But she didn't. She just hung out with me on her. Oh, that's actually really sweet.
よろしいんですか? ご厄介になってもいいものでしたら、ぜひ。
Cause I look curious about what I cook.
その顔は全然信じてないな。見てろ。
Wait, I just realized I said the word pedophile earlier. Will that get me like will that be bad for my video? I know you can't curse it, or did they switch that? I know you can't say like shit or like fuck like early on in your video, but I think they did switch that. But PDF file, is that like will that actually fuck up my video? Because I actually did just say like pedophile. Huh. To be fair, it was said in the game, obviously in Japanese, so... Actually, that's interesting. Now that I'm thinking about it, does it detect... Like, I'm kind of like yapping right now, but... Would it detect like the word... Or would it not matter in Japanese? I actually don't know. That's actually interesting. You don't look like you believe in cooking. You don't look like you believe in... You don't look like you believe in my cooking skills. You'll pay for that later.
入れておきますよ。
あ、悪いね。
Don't worry, I'll put the stuff away. You start cooking.
2人分だとお米はこのくらいかな。
Even if it's more, you'll probably save it for like tomorrow or something.
よっこらしょっと。
Kasei skillfully packed the food in the fridge while glancing at each item in turn. He noticed something.
シオンさん、相変わらず缶詰はダメなんですか？
I hadn't bought any. That was, of course, on purpose.
缶詰を避けての買い物は。
理屈じゃ分かってんだけどね。無理強いされりゃ食べないこともないけど。それでも私はやっぱりパスだな。
Canned food. I guess it depends. Like, canned beans is fine. Canned vegetables is fine, usually. I guess like a canned meal, maybe like a Campbell's or like a Chef Boyardee or something like that. Yo, Chef Boyardee used to be the shit when I was a kid. I genuinely hate it. I think it's actually disgusting. I've had it not recently, but like a while ago, and like past like being a kid, and oh my god, that shit is so gross. I do not like Chef Boyardee. The ravioli or like the spaghetti, it's just not good. I think Spam, some people actually really like Spam. They say it's pretty good. I've actually, like, I'm from like a Latino family. We don't eat Spam. Spam was never a thing we ate. Canned stuff, the most we ate is like canned like jalapenos, like just like, you know, with vinegar and like carrots and stuff. Like that's the most canned stuff we eat, and like beans and shit. But like Spam was never anything we ate.
悪かったと思ってます。少しふざけすぎたと思ってますよ。だからそろそろあんなくだらない。
もううっさい。男が厨房にチャラチャラ出入りしない。テレビでも見てておとなしくしててよ。
Kasai chuckled and left. I know this sounds stupid, but I hate canned foods. If somebody told me there was a canned food in a meal I just ate, I'd throw up. It started with a silly thing. Kasai told me a horror story when I was little. You know, one of those urban legends about meat made from unknown sources. Oh wait, no wait. This was actually an element that they talked about. What was the canned food incident that they talked about before? I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? But no. About meat made from unknown sources, like a rumor about how there's worm mixed into burger patties or dog meat and beef bowls. Kasai had fun telling me one of those stories because of how scared I got. He had fun, but I obviously didn't. I even started to cry in the canned food section of the supermarket. That's how much I hated it. I don't freak out like that anymore, but I still don't like canned foods. Since I don't like it, I don't force myself in. Now I live my life naturally avoiding canned foods. What was the story again? What was the story again about the canned foods that we had before? About someone who essentially... Was it during the, when they snuck into the, forbidden shed? Where, what's her name? The lady. The nurse lady. She was like... The story about some guy who got a job and then essentially processed human meat into cans or something like that. Because the villagers, they're descendants of like man-eater demons and shit like that. One of the biggest differences between us twins is that Mion didn't have this issue. Kasai feels responsible for this, but he can't rid me of that fear. Still, a flaw like this is actually a good thing. Otherwise, I'd be too perfect. Oh wow. Ha 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 ha.
Kasai, 机の上の新聞どけて。
いい匂いですね。
Smells good.
ごちそうになります。
量が足りないと思ったら、あとは勝手に牛丼屋さんにでも行くこと。テレビは切らないで。私は静かな食卓ってやつが苦手だから。
And don't turn off the TV. Okay.
では、いただきます。
I kind of get that. It is a little awkward to be eating quiet, I guess, especially if you're like not with too many people, I guess, or like it's just kind of a quiet dinner.
葛西何の用だったの？何か用事があってきたんでしょ？
I handed him a cup of tea. I could wait until dinner was over, but I wanted to get to the point quick.
食事が終わってからの方がいいかと思ってましたが、食べながらにしますか？
葛西が来た時点でずっと先に行ってくれた方がご飯の通りが良くていいかもです。
自宅に学園から電話が今日。
そりゃ遅いね。
Yeah, I was to say they really do not care. They're like, yeah, I guess we're responsible for her. Call her parents.
よっぽど表沙汰にしたくなかったとで、どうなったの？
電話は茜さんが取りました。親父さんには後で折を見て話すそうです。
Akane is my mom. That's what Kase called her, as he known her since before her marriage.
母さんなんか言ってた？
I was lucky she answered the phone, since she's relatively on my side.
仕方のないやつだと漏らしておりました。こういう結果も決して予想外ではなかったような
She
顔
was
つ
like,
きでし
yeah,
た
I
ね。
kind of expected that.
親父にはまだ知らせてないんだ。
茜さんなりにタイミングを測っているんでしょ
Probably waiting for the right
う。多
moment.
分2、3日中には話すものと思います。
親父はばあさん寄りだからな。耳に入れば自動的にあいつにも伝えるだろうな。で、伝わったら見つけ次第即刻ここへ連れてこい。申し開きの意見によっては指の1本や2本ってことになるだろうね。おっかない子って。
笑い事で済めばいいんですがね。シオンさんの指だけじゃ済まないかもしれない。あちちち。
がっつくからだよ。あ、ちなみに味噌汁もご飯も作りすぎてるからおかわりは強制ね。3杯は絶対食べること。
3 helpings of each? I don't think so, girl. I'll have some soup. I'll have some miso soup, but like the more rice, nah, man. I have a limit on rice. A few days later, Mion told me that the hag had heard about my escape.
で、ばあさんはどんな感じだった？バッチャはカンカンでさ、もしも沖宮界隈に帰ってきてるなら即刻見つけ次第自分の前に。怖っ。で、実際に親父とかの動向は？近々の親族会議でシオンをかくまってないか問いただすみたいだね。でも若いのに街中を探させるとかそういう真似はしないみたいだよ。
Holding a family council meeting that things will remain in the hag's hand alone. She won't search the town for me. It's like she unofficially approving my presence. Of course, I'll get caught immediately if they find me in a large public
母
place.
さんが随分暗躍してくれたみたいだね。
I can't tell she's being supportive. I can tell she's being supportive. It's a long story, but my mom is sort of an outlaw. Even though she's of the Sonozaki bloodline, a long time ago, she had a huge fight with the hag because she hated the family rules and traditions. She was even excommunicated. My mom was supposed to be the successor, but she was deprived of the title, and Sis took her place instead. Well, she was quite quiet now. Mion's still an outlaw. Well, Mom's still an outlaw. She's always been on my side because I also hate the rules and traditions.
最初はすっごくカンカンだったらしいよ。母さんがだいぶなだめたらしい。何のかんの言っても親父は最後には母さんには。オッケー、ありがとう。また何かあったら教えてね。本当にヤバくなったら私もこの町を離れるつもりだから。葛西とか吉郎おじさんとか、それに母さんとか世話になった人の顔は。おねえ、あんたが今何を考えてるか。どうして同じ血を分けた姉妹なのにシオンだけこんな隠れるように生活しなきゃならないのかでしょ。
Mion was silent. That meant yes.
シオンだけこんな窮屈な思いをするのはフェアじゃないよ。
It is fucked up. Like, bro, just let the child, like, live her life. Like, holy shit.
絶対。ありがとう。気持ちだけでも嬉しいです。おね。表に出たい時とかあったら相談して。 シオンがいつでもミオンになれるよう協力するからさ。
It sounded apologetic. I shouldn't go quiet or agree with her. She sticks to things a little too much. When she goes down, she'll stay there for a while. So I just told her
あり
simply,
がとう。実はそれが一番じゃあ切りますね。じゃあね。またね。
I'll talk to you later, okay, girl? Interesting. Oh, that was it. That felt a little anticlimactic. These chapters are actually kind of short. Huh. Okay. I guess it's because they don't do the... I'm not gonna lie, the early Higurashi parts, they're definitely very bloated with the slice of life stuff, and they're all kind of in a linear... Not linear, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, formula. They were also in a formula. Several chapters of essentially slice of life, mysterious things happen, Watanagashi, Keiichi goes crazy, the ending of the story, just sort of like those. So these are a lot structured, a lot different. I don't know if we're gonna see Watanagashi again, but this is definitely a little different. Alright, you can see the smudged diary. Oh, a smudged diary. Satsuko was crying while hiding behind my back. She'd been crying while clinging onto me, so my back was wet with her tears and snot. My aunt had been screaming hysterically, but she looked tired now. I suddenly realized that it was already past 1 in the morning. She vomited out a series of screams one last time, then finally called it quits. Satsuko seemed exhausted. She was looking down in a state of shock. Even after my aunt walked away, she didn't realize she had been freed. So I stroked her head and told her. Satsuko twitched. Her eyes grew bright again, and tears rolled down her cheek. She looked up at my face. She knew it was over. But wanting to hear it directly from me, she begged me with a look. To be honest, I was really exhausted too, so I felt a bit annoyed when she tried to make me say it. But I needed to pacify her, so I gently told her what she wanted to hear. So let's go to sleep. Satsuko clung to me while her tears continued to fall. She was crying again silently. Satsuko was shivering pitifully. Her small back reminded me that there was nobody else to protect her. Yeah, this place looks kind of like a mess too. Satsuko smiled faintly and nodded. I felt dizzy. As I was released from the strain, a harsh drowsiness fell upon me. While Satsuko was washing her face, I went to the toilet. I zoned out while watching my pee. In the dizziness, I almost missed the shot. I felt like I was being sucked into the toilet. I couldn't even remember what caused it. Did my aunt start screaming today? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so I was wondering, because we're going to see Satoshi, I'm pretty sure, because obviously he's not dead yet. Like, this is the year he dies. So I'm assuming that's what this story is going to be about, is like Shion essentially meeting Satoshi and his disappearance, I guess. Alright, these chapters are pretty short. Honestly, this kind of gives me more, like, again, watch the next chapter be like 2.5 hours long. But this is giving me kind of a clear sign that I might actually stream this like more often if these chapters are kind of relatively short. I think I'm gonna call it quits for now. It's only been an hour though. Unfortunately, I just don't know how long these chapters are gonna be. If it's another hour, you know what? Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. It's a very quiet afternoon as always. Since I can't go outside as myself, I have to match schedules with Mion when I go shopping. I've gotten used to it by now, so it's no longer a hassle. Because of this, I naturally have to buy things in bulk. Today, I shuttled between shops and my home.
あれは買った、これも買った。ああ、そうだ。今日って100円セールの日じゃなかったっけ？忘れてた。
Being in a good mood, I spun around with my arms spread out. I felt like a little whirlwind. My arm hit a motorcycle parking on the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't there. It obviously wasn't where it was supposed to be.
もう、何こんなとこに止めてるの誰？
I gave it a kick with no hesitation. There were 3 motorcycles lined up in a row. There in a row. They all fell with like dominoes. Oh shit, yo, you better run, girl. Run, get the fuck out of there. It was a beautiful sight. This is fun, I thought. Being in such a good mood made me leave my guard down. I didn't realize that the owner of the motorcycle were right nearby. They looked pretty scary. They grabbed me by the neck and dragged me into a dark alley. Holy shit. Then they called me all kinds of names. Everything was happening too quick for me to grasp what was going on. Bitch. Whoa. They can't really talk properly. I didn't have a clue what were they saying. I had to translate their alien tongue into normal human words in order to understand. We've already been what the fuck? We are very upset because they knocked down our motorcycles. You should have immediately paid for the repairs and compensation. Was probably it. That's our offer. What do you say? We'd be happy to listen to your opinion. Something like that.
ああ、ごめんなさい。さすがにそろそろ翻訳不能かも。ああ？だとぐら！
I know what they're trying to say, but someday, somebody has to warn them about the way they park their motorcycle. It wouldn't be fair for those who obey the rules if there were no punishment for those who disobeyed them. This is an accident. But it must also be God's will. But God, you can use me to punish these guys, but how will you compensate me later? I heaved a huge sigh. Of course, I wasn't afraid in this situation at all, because it wasn't a dangerous one for me. These 3 guys were yelling at the top of their lungs at a girl. They didn't look good doing it, and they had too many disadvantages. First, there was a difference in gender and in numbers of the people. Even if I did something wrong, as men shouting at a woman, it didn't make them look like they were in the right. Added to that, there were 3 of them. It already looked like it was going to get violent. Second, the location. Taking a girl into a dark, narrow alleyway, it's already a bad idea, and on top of that, they were asking for money, not just an apology. Thanks to these facts, the public will be on my side. So this was a fight they couldn't possibly win. The only way for them to win would be to take my money before somebody finds out. Considering that taking me to this narrow, secluded alleyway might have been a smart move, since fewer people will find out about the situation. What the fuck kind of hitting are they doing? Are they actually doing like combo moves, bro? I knew how to slim their chances of winning were. From the very beginning, they had picked the wrong girl. I'm Mion so. Oh, Mion so. It'd be foolish to mug her in Okinomiya. Soon enough, the people of Hinamizawa would notice me and gather around. They don't spare mercy for their enemies no matter what. The punks didn't know this area well. If they did, they'd have known how silly it was to rob Mion. Plus, the alleyway isn't always as empty as they've assumed. The side street is a shortcut which local people frequently use on their way home. In the late afternoons, many people will be passing through here. The time had almost arrived. If I held a little longer, the streets will soon be filled with people. Then the punks would have to go away. I didn't have to do anything. I just have to wait in order to win. This was a simple fight like that. While they could hurl abusive language at me or lift me up by the collar, they were actually going to resort to violence. They weren't actually going to resort to violence. Cheers to the education system for integrating the ladies first mindset. But as a wicked person, I wanted to toy with them a bit, even though I could win this by waiting. I wanted to paint them as an even more villainous and drive them into a corner that would be even harder to talk their way out. The domestic desire was rearing its horn. To put it plainly, I only needed to act... To put it plainly, I only needed to act as a poor, helpless victim a little further. Like the pathetic, pitiful, tragic heroine everyone wants to sympathize with. In a case like this, I shouldn't start crying immediately because they'd get nervous and draw back. If it were a truly threatening situation, that would work, but I needed something different here. I pretended to be strong at first. In fact, I thought, why don't I challenge them? And eventually, I started to tremble, my voice would fade, and I'd get tears in my eyes. It'd be even better if I played the role of a strong girl who'd slowly given into fear. Miona and I are probably the only ones who are capable of pulling that kind of stuff off. Well, I'm probably better than her.
そんなにしつこく言わなくてもいいでしょ。悪かったって言ってるじゃないですか。
I talk back with a little hesitation. Am I getting teary yet? Yes! By the way, I heard men can't shed tears on command. I feel sorry for them. The three punks flattered a bit due to my sudden change in attitude, but they soon started yelling at me again. I had to keep it going. The way they blatantly look like they're picking on a helpless girl.
許してください。
The fuck?
なんだよこら。
What you doing?
今までの伊勢はどこ行ったんだよ、にゃろ。
そんなのだって。
Looks like they were lying off a bit. Did I overdo it a bit? Did I overdo it a little? It'd be boring if they'd let me go now. At that moment. Okay, there he is. See, this is what I was wondering. Interesting. The boy around my age appeared. He was skinny. He looked weak. He looked younger than he probably was. He also looked smart. He bravely glared at the punks. The fuck are you? I'm not gonna lie, I do love this song. I looked up this song after it played during the intro of the first part. Damn, this is a really good piano piece. The punks turned away from me to face the boy instead. The boy looked a bit agitated when the punks started yelling at him. They sure was ruthless, but the boy must have known that from the beginning. He must have known that he was going into a dangerous situation, yet he didn't hesitate. He must have wanted to shout back at them, but he probably never used that kind of language in his life. So he couldn't have expressed his feelings out loud. He might have not known what to say, so he just kept glaring at them, to let them know that he wasn't going anywhere. The three punks thought, though might have thought he was just lost for words in his fear, but I knew different. The boy was overpowering them with nothing but his will. The punks were losing, so they resorted to violence. Oh my god, they're actually beating him up. They grabbed him and kicked it and knocked him down. They hit, kicked, and tossed him around. It looked painful, but I knew it was his victory. In the end, local passerby stopped the punks. They made no further fuss and went away. The boy stood up. He was covered in dust. He smiled when our eyes met, and he asked me if I was alright. He didn't look particularly okay himself, though.
あんたもよくもまあ勝てない喧嘩を買う人ですね。次からは勝てる算段がついてから喧嘩を買うことを深くお勧めしますけどね。
最初は迷ったよ。
He laughed, saying that he was watching. From the beginning, that meant he had the option to walk away. But instead, he worked up the courage and stepped in.
そういうのは勇気って言わず、身の程知らずとも言うかな。
Whoa,
ミオン
blush.
口が減らないね。助けてくれてありがとうくらい言ってくれよ。泣いてたじゃないか。
別に泣いてなんかいません。
Right. She's pretending to be Mion right now, so she thinks she's Mion. Right, wait, why did I forget? They go to the same school, right? So, what's her name? Mion probably hangs out with him. Like they would be friends. He is in Keiichi's position right now, essentially. Well, what the fuck? Wait, hold on a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so he would be in like Keiichi's position technically. Essentially, like they were like he probably plays games with them and shit, right? Is Rena here? I forgot. Is Rena already here? Okay.
あれはちょっとした演技で。
いいよ、演技でも。
ちょっと信じてないでしょ。私が本当に泣き出すと思いますか？
思わないよ。天下御免の園崎美音が不良にいじめられて泣き出したなんて。
何を笑ってるんですか？全然信じてないでしょ。私が半泣きなんてするわけない。
信じるから。
I realized one thing. He must have been one of Sis's friends. He didn't seem to realize I'm her twin. Though, he thought I was Mion with a different hairstyle. Mion and I had lived separately since before we were in elementary school. Mion was in Hinamizawa, and I was in Okinomiya. I lived in a totally different environment from her. So it's not strange that people don't know me. Actually, only a very few people know I exist. I also told him that I'm not Mion, but I managed to stop myself. Shion shouldn't be here. He's from Hinamizawa. It wouldn't be good if he thought he saw Mion look like in Okinomiya. So I had to act like Mion. Dealing with him could be more difficult than handling those punks.
でもまあミオンにも少しは女の子らしいところがあったんで安心したよ。
なんだか妙に引っかかる言い方ですけど、つまりはどういう意味です？
So you do have a girly side. I do like this song a lot. Wait, hold on a second. Let me just meet the game real quick. For a second. Okay.
Mion のことだからなんだかだから泣き出した時は正直驚いた。
だから
Yeah, I was surprised you were such a little bitch.
あれは泣き真似だったって言ってるじゃないですか。さっきから人の話ちゃんと聞いて。
He gently put his head on top of my head and stroked it as if stroking a kitten. I could remember somebody doing that to me when I was little, but it had been quite a while since somebody stroked my head. I didn't know what to do. Why did it make me so embarrassed? My face reddened all at once. I couldn't say anything.
ひょっとして。
I shuddered in embarrassment. He looked calm, as if he was used to doing this thing.
なんでもいいよ。よかったじゃないか。
よかったって何がです？
無事で。
He smiled while he kept stroking my head. His smile looked divine. He wasn't going to stay for long. He'd already saved me from those guys after all.
じゃあ僕は行かなきゃならないからそろそろ行くね。
あ、うん。
He wanted to go through all the steps of meeting someone for the first time, but he didn't. As far as he was concerned, he just saved a friend from danger and wanted to leave quickly to avoid seeming pretentious. He and Mion must be friends who knew each other very well. So I couldn't bring myself to ask, "What's your name?" Mion's friend smiled once again. His smile looked as refreshing as a clear blue sky. This time he smiled a bit mischievously.
安心しなよ。ミオンが泣いてたなんて誰にも言わないから。もっとも言ったところで誰も信じないだろうけどね。天下無双の委員長が泣いてたなんて絶対誰も信じない。
He patted the dust off his butt once again. He walked back into the sunny main road, away from the dark alley. He turned around. Then he turned around.
じゃあまた明日学校でね。
うん。学校で。
He disappeared into the brightly lit street. I continued to sit in the gloomy alleyway. I could no longer see him. I was just staring absent-mindedly at a bright light. That was the first time I met Satoshi-kun. I'm not even allowed to walk freely under the sun. I met a boy on a sunny day. How come a perverse girl like me fall in love with his innocence? Notebook, page 5.
そりゃあサトシだよ、サトシ。その特徴的な雰囲気と気安く頭を撫でる癖は間違いないね。サトシくんって言うんだ。
The boy from earlier is called Satoshi Hojo. Mion said that he's always daydreaming, so she didn't believe that he saved me at
普
first.
段はしっかり者の妹にいろいろと尻を叩かれてるな。妹がいるんだ。うん。妹は貞子って言ってね。なかなか面白いやつだよ。なかなか悪知恵が働くし、そのくせ追い詰められると泣くし。見てて退屈しない子だね。まあ、最近はいろいろとあってね。ちょっと調子を落としてるけど。
Ooh, what is this song? The song is nice. His sister came up naturally in the conversation. I tried to soak up every scrap of information about Satoshi-kun. Why? Why am I trying to ask so much about him? As I asked myself that, the feeling I got when I stroked my head back, when he stroked my head came back to me. I must have been blushing.
もしもし、シオン？え？ああ、ごめん。聞いてる聞いてる。そもそもね、サトコがおばと折り合いが悪いらしいんだよね。サトシは大人だから、その辺はうまく立ち回ってるんだけどさ、サトコは嫌なことがあると素直に表情に出しちゃうからね。
What sis told me was very interesting. She told me that the parents of Satoshi-kun and his little sister are dead. Satoshi-kun and Satoko are living with their aunt and uncle. They didn't seem like very respectable people. They're always fighting, and the uncle is cheating on the aunt. He mostly lives with his mistress. Satoshi and Satoko entered into an unwelcomed environment. What surprised me the most is the fact that Satoshi-kun's parents were the Hojo couple who were the leaders of the pro-dam activists. The fact must have added something to the situation. I don't know what kind of stance the uncle and aunt took during the dam conflict, but they must have taken some indirect blows. Satoshi-kun's parents died after bothering them so much and even left them their children. The uncle and aunt obviously can't love those kids. Things have gotten worse this past year too. Women can be really nasty bullies. Sometimes it doesn't matter who they're bullying, even if it's a kid. On top of that, women tend to care less about property than men. As a result, Satoko seems exhausted with it all. I can imagine Satoshi's bravery protecting his little sister. Just like when he saved me.
なら、サトシ君も普段は疲れてるってことになるのかな。
え？
サトコがおばにいじめられるたびに、きっとサトシ君は妹をかばってると思う。妹が疲れるのと同じくらい、サトシ君も疲れてると思うのは、私の考えすぎ？どうだろうね。
Had I said something wrong? Mion sounded a bit taken aback. So that meant Mion can't tell how he feels? How he's feeling? Because he's always wearing the blank look? So she never considered it. How could she be that insensitive even though she's around him all the time? I was amazed to realize that. The fuck? Doggo seems upset. The song is very nice.
で、彼は普段はどんなことをしてるの？文系みたいだから読書とか好きなわけ？想像に漏れずに普段は読書して過ごしてるよ。最近読んでる本はね、なんて言ったかな。
I continue asking about him, about what he likes, dislikes, and what he thinks about. I asked Sis all these questions because I wanted to know more about him. It was the first time I ever been interested in somebody. I didn't want to admit that I had feelings like that. Did I fall in love just because of the stroke of the head? Am I stupid or what? When I remember the feeling of his hand on my head, my heart feels tightly. I tried doing it myself, but it didn't feel the same. I'm stupid. What am I doing, stroking my own head?
おねえ、私もうダメだ。バカになっちゃった。え？何を突然。気色悪い声で笑い出して。お姉にはわかるまい、この気持ち。
When would I see him again? I felt as if my suffocating life had finally grown brighter. Oh wow, so it really was just love at first sight, huh? Dun, dun, dun. The life I lived really was beginning to suffocate me. I couldn't go out freely and always had to make arguments with Mion before working. Arrangements with Mion before going to work. I thought my life would improve after escaping from school, but in reality, it wasn't that easy. It's not healthy to live like this for too long. Without many friends to hang out with, I felt like I was hibernating. I'd start to feel the dangers of falling into boredom. All I could think of now was Satoshi-kun's face. I'd only met him briefly, but my encounters with him had a great impact on my new life. I felt like something exciting was going to happen. Really, I was hyped up like a little kid. The more I thought about it, I realized I'd been thinking about him a lot lately. This might be a crush. I felt a little ridiculous idolizing him in such a romantic way though. Then, out of the blue, I got a chance to see him again.
Are?
I saw a familiar face at twilight in the park. He was sitting on the swing. He looked like he was zoned out, or maybe deep in thought. He didn't notice me even though I was right in front of him. I reminded myself to speak and act like Mion before talking to him.
Hey! 何やってんのこんなとこでさ。
That's funny. Considering that it's the same voice actress, she just like does that. It's like really funny.
びっくりしたな。
そんなに驚いてるようには見えないけどね。
Song is very, very nice. The music in this game has been pretty good so far.
さっきからいたんだけど、ずっと気づかなかった？
そうなのかい？ごめん、気づかなかったよ。
He smiled dervisively and shrugged. He looked depressed, like something was troubling him.
悩み事でも？聞いて楽になるものなら聞くし、力になれるものなら惜しまないけど。
いや、別に。
私はサトシ君には一個借りがあるからね。それとも何？おじさんじゃ力になれないと思ってるわけ？
Wow, she actually knows her catchphrase. This old
見くび
man.
られたもんだな。
別に。ミオンの力を借りたら。
ほう。それは何？私ごとき女の手は借りたくないってこと？
Thinking him unfair, I puffed up my cheeks in a sulken gesture. Satoshi noticed that and smiled.
違うんだよ、ミオン。僕に実力がなくて、ここ一番で打てなかったってだけのことなんだよ。
I mentally rifled through all the information about Satoshi-kun and that Sis had given me. He doesn't look much of an athlete, but apparently Satoshi belongs to the junior baseball team. They're called the Hinamizawa Fighters. I doubt he's very skilled since I didn't hear much about his contributions to the team. Maybe that's why he doesn't tell many people that he's a member. Given how down he felt as a result of messing up, he must be fairly dedicated. I deduced all that from what Sis told me and carefully chose my words so as to sound like her.
なんだ、そんなことで落ち込んでるわけ？
そんなことでって簡単に言ってくれるな、ミオンは。
I pat his back while chuckling. Satoshi-kun would probably call me insensitive. I knew I should listen to him rather than try to cheer him up. Acting like Sis was probably the wrong thing to do in this case, but I had no choice. This was just how she'd react in this situation.
それなら落ち込むんじゃなくて、なお一層練習に打ち込んで次のチャンスを目指すのが適当ってもんでしょうが。こういう時は練習しかないよ、練習。 まあサトシ君に相手のピッチャーに小細工をしてまで勝ちたいという執念があるなら、おじさんいろいろと協力できるかもしれませんけどね。
Yeah, I want to say, like,
何の意味もないよ。
if the only way he could win is by cheating, then he's not really winning. Satoshi-kun hung his head after letting his regret out in a big sigh. Surrender, defeat, resignation were all visible in that gesture of his.
諦めがいいのか未練たらたらなのか。やっぱり男に生まれたからには一度くらいは晴れ舞台でスターになってみたいでしょ
う。もちろんヒーローを目指すのが花だけど、それが目的で野球をやってるわけじゃないよ。純粋にボールを投げたり打ったりするのが楽しい。ミオンでもそういうのわかるよね。
おじさんはそういうのは私は結果が一番であるなら一番になれないのに大好きなんてものはあんまりよくわかんないね。
ミオンらしい答えだな。
Having realized that I'm trying to make him feel better, he laughed along. He didn't look depressed anymore. I guess he was just feeling down because of the game. He wasn't as depressed as I thought. Okay, good. I muted the mic for a little bit and I thought I forgot to unmute it. What the fuck is that? Maybe I jumped to conclusions when I saw him sitting alone in the park.
でもミオンは一番になるためにいろいろと努力をするからね。それは偉いと思うよ。
That's admirable. He smiled gently and stood up. Then he started stroking my head. All of that sudden, I totally wasn't prepared for that. I thought this when he did it last time, but how can he stroke someone's head so easily? I felt like I had turned into a little kid. Memories of kindergarten came to my mind. My face must have been red. I felt embarrassed, but also like I was in a heaven. Satoshi-kun stroked me as though petting a cat. I was blushing with my eyes closed. I felt helpless, like a girl being treated by a dentist with her mouth open and her eyes shut. Satoshi-kun didn't seem to notice my feelings at all. He didn't seem to care. I hated him. With my eyes still closed, I waited for him to finish. He suddenly withdrew his hand.
じゃあ僕はそろそろ帰るよ。おばさんに野球の帰りに買い物をしてくるよう頼まれてるから。
My voice faltered. I was so embarrassed.
買い物なら夕飯の買い物。
あれミオもお手伝いさんが全部やってくれるって言ってなかったっけ？
Shoot, I messed up. In the main Sonozaki house, the maids do everything. Therefore, Mion hardly goes grocery shopping, and she brags to some people about that. I should have known better. Still, it wouldn't be too hard to find an excuse.
町に遊びに来るつもりでいたから買い物を私が引き受けてきたわけよ。お分かり？
ミオンにしては珍しいね。普段はそういうのめんどくさいって言って嫌がりそうなのに。
そういうのを余計なお世話って言います。頭撫でないで。
Satoshi-kun seemed to be having fun with how embarrassed I get when he pats me. Anyways, I managed to talk my way out of it. He didn't seem to really care about the details. While walking with Satoshi in the shopping district of Kamiishiki, it suddenly occurred to me, why had I messed up? I'd known Mion would never go grocery shopping. What an amateurish mistake. Did I make that mistake when I was pretending to be Mion? No. I was probably speaking with Ashion. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I had to just admit it. It was simply because I wanted to spend as much time with Satoshi as possible. It was easy to see why I was so attracted to him. I'd found something intriguing in my boring life, and I didn't have to feel tense because he thought I was someone else. Etc., etc. His easygoing nature made him fun to be around, and his habit of patting people in the head was fun too. From these symptoms, I could tell I was embracing the feeling of love. I was just casually enjoying that feeling. It wasn't that I fell in love with him. I was just having fun. I could simply spend some fun time with Satoshi-kun without having to think too much.
ブロッコリーってどれだっけ?
What? How do you not know what broccoli is? Oh wait, doesn't Satoko have this issue too?
サトシ君、そっちはカリフラワー。サトシ君ってひょっとしてキャベツとレタスの区別がつかないタイプ？
それはひどいよ。これでも精一杯区別してるつもり。
Okay, I'll admit, I definitely confused lettuce with cabbage when I was a little kid. But only when I was like very, very little. It's definitely not like later on. Satoshi-kun stared at a heap of broccoli and cauliflower. And to be fair, cabbage and lettuce look much more similar than cauliflower and broccoli. They're two completely different colors. After thinking for a while, he reached out with the wrong one. Why did both of them have like trouble figuring this shit out, which is pretty funny.
Satoshi-kunの買い物は見ててハラハラしますね。見てるこっちは楽しいけどさ。
Ahaha. Tries to copy her laugh too. Fuck you, bitch.
サトコと一緒の時にも迷うんだよ。ブロッコリーとカリフラワーは
あんたら兄弟二人揃って面白すぎです。
Sis had told me that Satoshi was a flaky big brother to his nagging little sister. I hadn't met Satoko, but she must have been a tough time dealing with Satoshi. He stumbled over everything he buys after all.
それは調理塩。胡椒とか混じってますから、卓上塩とは異なります。
え、そうなの？ほら、確か理科の実験で塩と胡椒を分離するのを確か。
言い訳はいいから棚に戻す。こっちが普通のお塩ね。で、次は？
ミオンがいてくれると買い物が楽で助かるよ。
サトシ君、頭良さそうに見えて、もう少しお勉強した方がいいと思います。
I think you should study more.
これはひどいな。あった。これかな。ひょいひょい。
だからそれは違う。何でもカゴに放り込む前に値段と何人分かをよく確認する。
I'm sorry, I'm not checking that. Price? Sure. Serving size? I'm just buying whatever. My first impression of Satoshi-kun was that he was strong and relatable and reliable. But the more I spoke with him, the more surprised I was at how clunky and unreliable he was. How do I put it? It was hard to leave him alone. He was dangerous on his own. If he wasn't careful, he might start wondering, do you cross the street when the light is red? Or was it green? And get himself run over by a dump truck. Sweats drop.
1780円になります。スタンプカードはお持ちですか？
はい、あります。あれと。
すみません。ち ちょっと見当たらないんで今度でいいです。
I finished checking out, ignoring Satoshi-kun as he fished through his wallet receipt.
ひどいなミオン。スタンプちゃんと押さないともったいないよ。
あんた夕暮れ時のお買い物ラッシュの時にのんびりと財布を漁ってスタンプカードなんか探さない。後ろに大勢待ってるんだから。私たちの後ろで海線山線のおばさま方がそういう時はレジ前に並んでる時からあらかじめ用意しておくの。
You know what? I 100% agree. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is the big deal? Yeah, no, fuck you. Pay your shit and get the fuck out. Stop paying with a freaking paycheck, bro. Like, freaking a check, bro? Like, why are you paying with check, stupid idiot? Like, pay with cash or, like, your card, bro.
そうか。いいことを聞いたよ。
ちなみにここでのことだけじゃないですからね。バスに乗る時もそう。サトシ君、バスを降りようとして料金を入れる時、その時になって初めてお財布を開けて小銭をちまちまと探して後ろの人を詰まらせて待たせてるでしょ。
Yo, don't do that, bro.
みんな僕を追い抜いて勝手に料金を入れてるかな。
はあ、それはね、すっごーく周りに迷惑をかけている。そういうのはあらかじめ用意しておくのがマナー。わかりました？
わかったよ。今日のミオンは怖いな。
Satoshi-kun smiled as if patronizing me. I couldn't believe it. He was definitely the type who made women want to protect him. Sure, he was fine as he was when he had a busybody like me around him. But I couldn't stop worrying whether he was able to function in society without someone like that nearby. We got plastic bags and sorted out what we bought. Satoshi-kun put the pack of tofu at the bottom of the bag. I slapped his hand and put the milk carton instead.
はい、これで OK。これで台所で買い物袋を広げてお母さんに仰天されなくて済みますからね。
Ooh, wait, she fucked up. She fucked up bad. Your mother?
ありがとう。助かったよ。
Ooh.
僕はどうも買い物が苦手でさ。
Okay, either he heard it and he realized that something's kind of up, or he heard it, or he didn't hear it, and she's like, okay, cool.
買い物だけ？
But I don't think they're gonna ignore it. There's no way he wrote it in the script and it's not gonna bring it up.
正直におっしゃい。
Especially if she says it again.
嘘冗談。
I had realized a few things while I was spending time with him today. He's not just bad at shopping, he's also chronically clumsy. In general, you could call him a slow thinker. That meant when he stepped into a quarrel with those punks, he must have needed a lot of courage. He might be a simpleton, but he's not stupid. He's aware of his weakness, so he must have been aware of the danger in that situation. He could have chosen to walk away even though I was in trouble. But he chose to be a man and step in. That was really admirable of him.
偉い。サトシ君は頑張ったよ。いい子。
なんだよ。急に人の頭を撫でないでくれよ。
サトシ君が一人でお買い物ができましたでしょう。なで。
ミオン、僕のことすっごいバカにしてるだろ。
してないよ。お家一人で帰れるかな？道わかる？
やっぱりバカにしてる。
Satoshi-kun sulkily face flushed red. Oh wait, he's just so cute. At that point, I caught a glimpse of the billboard from the corner of my eyes. Piano lessons, call XX. Abacus class. Junior baseball team member wanted. It was posted for the team Satoshi belonged to. It showed the day, time, and place of their next practice. By then, I knew just how flaky he was. I figured he must be just the same when he played baseball. Satoshi-kun realized that I was reading the post. He looked uncomfortable and walked
今
away.
サトシ君は思った。頼むからミオン、野球やってるとこまで来ないでくれよ。図星？そのムーってのはつまり何さ？図星ってことでしょ。
Satoshi-kun became quiet. After mumbling something, it seemed like he couldn't say anything back since I'd been right on the money. Satoshi-kun, you're just too cute. I don't think going silent is a good way to dodge the issue. Well, that might just have been the way innocent people like him would react in a situation like that.
じゃあね、サトシ君。暗くなりかけてるから気をつけて帰ってね。
ミオンは一緒に帰る？ひなみ沢。
私はもうちょっと寄るとこありますんで、気にしないで先に帰ってください。
僕の買い物を手伝ってもらったんだから、今度は僕が手伝う。
大丈夫大丈夫。っていうか、サトシ君が何を人の手伝いする前に自分が手伝われなくて買い物できるようになっといてくださいな。
今日のミオンはひときわ意地悪かな。
You're really mean today. He seems to have some pride at least. He looked a bit upset because he was teased by a girl, but in contrast, I felt very satisfied. As a result, I forgot to keep my guard up.
でも手伝ってくれてありがとうね。本当に助かったから。
Oh my god, girl, get a hold of yourself. While wearing a bright smile, Satoshi suddenly started stroking my head again. Whoa. I know he's teasing me, but I can't reject him. He keeps doing it only because he realizes I won't resist.
じゃあね、ミオン。暗くならないうちに用事を済ませてね。また明日学校で。
また明日学校でね。
In fact, I wouldn't see him tomorrow at all. It felt awkward, but I had to settle for that. I had to thank Sis for letting me use her name. After I separated from him, I found myself giddy and wishing to see him again as soon as possible. I wanted to know more about him. I couldn't wait for my next chance to see him. Actually, maybe there was something I could do. Just like when I obtained my freedom from St. Lucia's. Where's my water? I could choose how to live my life. Whatever. It wasn't that complicated. I just wanted to tease him more. I wanted him to stroke my head more. And, whatever. I already knew the schedule for his baseball team. So yeah, both chapters were pretty much exactly 1 hour each. All right, I'll go see if I'm gonna end the stream after this tip. But I'm gonna see like a crumpled diary. Wait, again? Or yeah, I guess. I'm gonna see next time. If next time I stream the chapter. Oh wait. I just realized it's the song. Is this? I'm guessing this is just Shion's theme or something like that, or specifically this part's theme. Maybe for like Shion and like Satoshi, like maybe them, because it played when he showed up too. I want to see if next time it's like 1 hour as well for one chapter, and then I'll do 2 chapters every single part essentially. I think that's a good pace. And hey, if one day I can't stay that long, I could just do 1 chapter, which honestly, that fits pretty well. My aunt finally stopped her hysterical screaming. Today was just like any other day. I can't remember what set her off. Whatever it was, she changed subjects constantly anyway. Constantly anyway, it didn't matter. She went on past midnight again. The urge to sleep was pounding at the back of my head. When Satoko was able to relax, she fell down on the spot and started sleeping, still clinging to my sleeve. I carried Satoko to the bedroom and laid her out our
ほら、
futons.
さとこ。布団に入りな。
Satoko crawled like a worm. She stopped moving once she was inside. I wish I could go to bed too, but I couldn't. My aunt asked me to do some chores. I had to get toothpaste after school tomorrow. I had to write it down somewhere. I had to make rice for lunch tomorrow. I set up the timer. Right. I also had to repile the towels in the bathroom. That was the reason for today's scolding. My aunt will get mad if anything isn't done the way she wants. Oh, and there was something else. I was working at a grocery store the next day. They wanted me to bring an apron. Did we even have an apron in this house? I never seen one. My aunt will be sleeping when I go to school, so I won't have time to ask her. What should I do? Since Mion helped me get that job, I don't want to screw it up. In that case, why don't I ask Mion about it at school? She might lend me one. Was there anything else? I was envious of Satoko because she got to go to bed. It was pathetic that I felt that way. Oh, yeah, those are like really, these are like, of course, like we know what's happening. This is really sad. Yeah, okay, so that was the next part. Let's just press continue real quick. Hopefully it is a picture. Oh, I guess we're playing baseball next time, so that should be pretty fun. Okay. Hopefully it's doesn't go crazy like the last time we played baseball. But yeah, okay. That's a good place to end it. That was really good. I think I like the pace of this story so far much better. I think I enjoy this pace a lot better. The fact that each chapter is roughly around 1 hour each, it'll let me be a little more flexible, and maybe some days I might even stream for 3 hours and just complete like 3 chapters. Okay. I kind of like, I don't know if it's going to be like this for the rest of the game. Maybe some chapter, I'm pretty sure the last chapter is going to be much longer or something. But yeah, I like this a lot. So far it's pretty good. Nothing too crazy has happened yet. All that's really happened was that we kind of met Satoshi. We know a little bit more about him as a person, which is cool because he's no longer just, you know, some guy we like heard about like in the past. We actually seen him and seen Shion's interactions with him, which is very good. I do enjoy that quite a bit. So yeah, nothing too insane happened though. Just a lot of slice of life. I kind of do like the slice of life a little bit more though than before. Before it was like a lot of game explaining, which again, it's fine. I'm not talking shit about that. I'm not acting like that's bad, but it does get a little. It was a little self-indulgent before. Like it definitely was very self-indulgent, like of how far it went. But this, I really enjoy the pace of this. It feels a lot nicer. And it's very interesting just seeing Mion's perspective on certain things. Shion's perspective, sorry. Shion's perspective on certain things. If I said Shion before, if I said Mion, I meant Shion, sorry. But yeah, that's it for now. Nothing too much more to say. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Anyone who's stuck around, anyone who's checking out the VODs, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll probably be back on maybe Monday to continue. So yeah, have a good night, guys. Thank you, and take care. Bye.